So welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be discussing mental health and how it is the key that you have been looking for up until this point. Mental health is probably the most underrated, where is my drawing on page? Mental health is probably the most underrated topic in self-improvement and in the world of just progressing and productivity and stuff like that. But it is the most crucial, right? If you want a lot of money, if you want a lot of women in your life, if you want business success, then it all comes down to your mental health. So, why listen to me? This was me on the left, at age 17 and let's say 15 to 17. This is what I looked like. Here I was 17, um, here I was 15, and then here I was late 17, early 18. And it was rough. Life at this point was rough. I was obese. I was trying to lose weight. I was trying to start a business. I was trying to do a lot of things, and I just couldn't seem to do it. I would stick to it for maybe 2 days, 3 days, and then inevitably I would fall off. But at 18, something happened. 18, 19. I ended up losing all of the weight that I originally wanted to. I traveled Thailand solo. I ended up growing well, actually I didn't grow my business at 18, but I grew it later, right at 21. Now I have a business, a coaching business. I lived in Thailand for 6 months. I traveled America. I met a lot of great people. I made a lot of friends and slept with a lot of girls because I made these videos for my younger self, and that was what he wanted. Um, and that was what was important to him at the time, and it still is. I mean, women are nice, of course. But how did I manage to make such a drastic difference in my physique and in my life and in my social life when I was addicted to porn, right? I was addicted to binge eating. I was addicted to all of this not great stuff. I was addicted to daydreaming, YouTube. Bro, I would watch YouTube videos on business and on like sales and lead generation and all of this stuff while taking no action. And I would talk about it to the people around me, to friends, to family, and I would stay inside all day. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? If you're grinding inside all day, and anybody who tells you that you shouldn't be, fuck their opinion. But if you're inside all day doing nothing, it's probably not great, right? You don't want to be an incel. You don't want to be a basement dweller. You want to be outside socializing. But if you are in a period of building your business, then you should 100% be in your room. And currently I'm in that phase, right? I'm in my room pretty much 24/7 and recording videos, learning, learning skills, reading. Um, yeah. But I do feel very strongly about that. If you are building, stay in your fucking room. But I was worse off than you. I was worse off than you. I dropped out of 15. I had no friends from 15 to 17. I grew up in a pretty rough environment. I come from a council estate in London, and yet I transformed everything. I had no history of any wins, of like a track record of like, okay, I did this, so therefore I can do this. I had nothing like that. But yet everything changed. How? And this is for you if you feel down bad, you have zero self-belief, and you kind of hate yourself for it. But you're talented, you're ambitious, and you know for a fact that you've only tapped into like 0.0001% of your potential. This one system will work for you, guaranteed. Is it a system? I suppose, yeah. Okay, what we're going to be covering today will be one aspect of the Protagonist Protocol, which is the system which I have built to overcome procrastination for business owners and for creatives, artists, whatever it is. And today we'll be discussing the mental health portion of that. I'm not going to go too deep into this right now, but if you struggle with procrastination, book a call, and let's see if we are a good fit to work together or not. Moving on. Mental health determines your productivity. Mental health determines your productivity. The issue that most people face, if you're somebody who procrastinates a fucking lot, is that there's constantly mental friction going on. You're constantly at war with your own mind. You have negative thoughts which you're constantly hiding from or trying to battle. And it's a constant onslaught. And this is taking up so much energy from you that you have no more energy for your business. You quite literally have no more energy for your business because you're at war with yourself. This was a tweet that I posted about a week ago. Your brain is a war zone right now. You can't stand it, so you look to cope with instant gratification. You literally need to flood your mind with copious amounts of dopamine just to feel okay. And the rest of the time, you're getting abused by your conditioned mind, by your thoughts. Anytime I step away from mindfulness and mental health, my life quality and productivity plummet dramatically and fast. Researching and engaging in mindfulness and mental health is now your business. It's now your full-time job. It's now your purpose. So the core thesis here that I'm trying to get across is good mental health equals self-love, which equals good habits. To love oneself is to take actions which benefit the tomorrow version of you. Let me say that again. To love oneself is to take actions which benefit the tomorrow version of you. That's what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to do business work. We're trying to eat clean. Why are we doing that? We're doing that so in the future, we have a business. We can travel the world. So that when we take our tops off, we feel confident. We are doing it for ourselves tomorrow. We are doing it for ourselves in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, in 6 months. But the opposite is also true. If one doesn't love himself, he will disregard himself for the instant gratification of his lower self / his caveman brain or lizard brain. When you love somebody, you try to do the best for them that you can. And when you don't love someone, when you hate someone, the way that you hate yourself, you couldn't give a fuck. You couldn't give a fuck. And when you get this urge to watch porn, when you get this urge to binge eat, when you get this urge to scroll YouTube and to scroll on your phone instead of work, reason not to. Because you don't fucking care about yourself. And the reason you don't care about yourself is because you have been... I can guarantee you right now, if you look around at the people around you, your family, the area that you live in, your environment, people don't like themselves. They might have a strong sense of ego, but they have low self-esteem and they do not value themselves. So they drink. So they engage in these bad habits, right, that I mentioned before. And I know for a fact, whenever I was in a rut, when I was fucking abusing myself, I did not care for myself one bit. And coming to this fact, we now need to realize that mental health is therefore the core of all improvement, whether that's in your, whatever it is, business, social skills, what's the other one? Physique. Sorry, I'm on a really intense cut right now and it's late, but we're still getting this video done. To execute on something is to give it your focus. Like, keep that in mind. To execute on something is to give it your focus. If you want to execute on a business task, you need to focus on it. If you want to cook a healthy meal, you need to focus on cooking the meal. Mindfulness is the art of making sure that focus is on something that benefits future you. Mindfulness is the art of making sure that that focus that you have is on something which benefits the future you. Without mindfulness, you default to your lower self and your conditioning. Remember that environmental noise and conditioning? You're just going to default back to that. And you're going to get the same results as the people around you. Without mindfulness, you default to instant gratification. Naturally, our mind works on a salient system, which is essentially we just default to what we get the most pleasure from. And without a purpose or self-love or a vision, that's what we're going to continue. Without mindfulness, that's what we're going to continue to default back to. And I need you to keep these two phrases in mind. You currently default to a negative mental state. And you currently default to instant gratification. That's what you currently default to, my guy, my friend, my brother. That's what you currently default to. And if you can change that, if you can change what you default to, and if you can improve your mental health, eating clean is easy. Getting into deep work, easy. Being organized, easy. Waking up early is easy. And I know this because I've done it all. I'm not coming to you from regurgitated information. I'm coming to you from lived experience. And once you decide that you want to do something, you kind of just do it. Like, imagine how cool that is. But right now, you have a bunch of doubt. You have a bunch of like, oh no, I can't do that. That you have a bunch of limitations. I I was at 14% body fat for very long, and now I'm gonna put the mic down. And now I'm getting lean. I'm getting to 10% body fat because I want to, right? I'm literally transforming my body because I want to, and nothing's gonna stop me. Come July, come August, I'm going to be peeled. I'm going to be shredded because I simply just want to. Mental health is essentially just the thought loops you default to. That's it. Bad mental health equals thought loops which bring you closer to your anti-vision and abuse you. And your anti-vision is basically the life that you just don't want to live, right? And good mental health equals thought loops which bring you closer to your vision and they support you. So a thought loop which could abuse you is, I'm not good enough. I'm lazy. I struggle to work my business. I struggle to wake up early. Them thoughts don't serve you at all. A thought that I used to have when I was younger was that I was innately disgusting. I carried that around with me. And a thought loop which helps you is, I'm handsome. I'm desirable. I am a workaholic. I love working on my business. I love waking up early. I love life. I wake up with energy, right? And these are the thoughts that we want to get our mind defaulting to. We want to get them looping, right? Emotionally charged thoughts, emotionally charged thought loops turn into beliefs. Earlier we mentioned default conditioning, right? Where is it? You currently default to a negative mental state and you currently default to instant gratification. These are your conditioning. When you were an infant and in the early years of your life, let me just make myself a little big. You didn't have the ability to control what energy or ideas were entering your subconscious mind, as it had not been developed, right? Okay, let me read that again. Jesus, I lost my train of thought there. When you were an infant and in the early years of your life, the ability to control what energy or ideas were entering your subconscious mind had not been developed. Consequently, you have been conditioned to accept many limitations. This explains why individuals will fight to hold on to their limitations. 95% of our population would rather give up their rights than their customs. And this was written back in 1980, this piece of work. And I can imagine in 2026 it is far, far worse than that. As a person thinketh in their heart, so are they. This is a great book and a great quote by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. I highly, highly recommend it. It's very short as well. But you are no longer an infant. You do have control over what enters your subconscious mind. Whether you are exercising that control or not exercising it is another subject. And you currently are not. And what I'm trying to train you here is to train it. Is to train that filter that you have. But right now you're not filtering anything that goes into your subconscious or into your mind, period. You can control what enters your subconscious mind, and furthermore, you definitely have the God-given ability to change the old conditioning. By doing this, you have transformed your life. This lower bit here, this can be seen as your identity, your conditioning, and your subconscious mind. These are essentially neural pathways which have been ingrained in us. They're familiar, so we default to them because evolutionary psychology states that we do not like to do things differently because we like to preserve energy as much as possible. We are conditioned for survival, not thriving, right? So naturally, our brain kind of gets these grooves, and we like to just stay in the familiar territory because anything new threatens our life, quite literally. That's why changing is so hard. That's why change is so hard. But if we can use our conscious mind, then we can change. Ultimately is the goal. Environmental conditioning equals beliefs, and beliefs dictate your behavior. On the left is a what do you call it? A extract from my Substack article, which I will link down below. Can I zoom? Can I zoom? There we go. How to make more progress in the next 3 months than your last 3 years. I'll link it down below. Our subconscious mind is taken from social, environmental, or authority consensus, which is our childhood conditioning, right? And then we have 2 other variants: direct experience and then imagined experience. To create a picture of reality, and we take beliefs and we take conditioning from these so that we have a picture of reality that you can exist inside of. Otherwise, there would be far too many possibilities and ideas that your mind would simply shut off, and it would induce mania or derealization, which some people have experienced. But these beliefs you hold about reality aren't truths. Like, these truths that you have about the world around you aren't truths. The only truths in this world that we live in are universal laws. That's it. Everything else is just a belief, a lie. But these beliefs you hold about realities aren't truths. They are simply ideas that you have gotten emotionally involved with. I was raised to believe that I was lazy and low value. I was picked on for my weight. So when it came to lose that said weight, it felt impossible because I was attempting to contradict the truth. I believed that I was supposed to be fat and overweight. And when I looked to change that, it felt like I was quite literally going against reality itself, because it felt like I was trying to contradict the truth. That's how strong beliefs are. A belief I held was that I'm lazy and I don't like working out. So when I attempted to hit the gym, my identity came under fire and reacted viciously with unending negative emotion, which is probably what you're experiencing right now. And I didn't write this down, but all of this negative emotion that you have is because you hold beliefs which contradict the vision that you were chasing. I need to write this shit down. Let me cook again. All of the negative emotion that you're experiencing and the resistance that you are feeling is because you hold beliefs which contradict the goal/vision which you are aiming to achieve. And what we need to do is we need to change that. We need to change the beliefs that you hold. And beliefs, you change them with emotion. You change it with proof and visualized experience, but you need a bit of both, to be honest. People say there's all visualization bullshit. Bullshit. Get that shit out of here, because I ain't buying it. So this is essentially the how beliefs influence your reality. And we intervene here. The belief, who am I becoming? Right? What type of person are you becoming day to day? And then we take massive action with our new beliefs. So we have the belief that I am, let's say, I'm becoming a productive person and I'm becoming somebody who loves work. So then you take action with that new belief, and then your reality confirms that belief. You find, oh, damn, I'm actually like working at my desk. I'm actually like clocking a good amount of hours per week on my business. Reality confirms this belief, and then it feeds back in. Damn, so I actually am this person. And then it kind of goes in this self-fulfilling cycle. And the opposite is also true, right? If you believe that you're lazy, then your reality will confirm that. And then you're like, damn, I guess I am lazy because I'm being lazy here. But it all starts with belief. And 2 other ways that your beliefs dictate your reality is they filter your perception to align with that belief. So if you believe money is hard to make, any video that you watch, you'll see as bullshit because it contradicts the belief that you hold. And secondly, they act as a living entity which wants to survive, and it uses negative emotion as its defense. They become its host. Examples are I am statements. When you say I am lazy, you quite literally entangle yourself with the belief. Imagine, think about how crazy that is. You was told something as a kid, and now you talk about it as if it is you. I am lazy. I struggle to work out. I. You entangle it with your ego, with your sense of self, and it controls you. It is a virus which controls you now. Moving on. Emotionally charged thought loops turn into beliefs. Emotion to the mind equals real or important. Think about trauma, right? Trauma is an intense emotional experience which quite literally alters somebody's mind for the rest of their life. I don't know if it's actually for the rest of their life, but it literally changes the wiring in their mind, the mechanics in their mind. That's how strong emotion is. That's what trauma is. That's what PTSD is. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to use it in the opposite way. We're trying to use it to benefit our lives. Your mental health is the foundation of everything. I hope I kind of got this across here. So now, how do we actually go about changing it? Tool one. Let me make myself smaller because my big ass head is in the way. Tool one is meditation. Meditation is simply the act of training metacognition. Metacognition is thinking about your thinking. It is a complex word that encompasses our self-awareness of why we act the way we do, and it is connected to our problem-solving abilities. Right? There's kind of like this person, there's kind of this real version of you, which I didn't call it, but I call it the observer. I got that from the book Power of Now, right? The observer, the watcher, whatever you want to call it, who kind of understands, who's kind of like the third person perspective in your mind and can see thoughts as they occur. And it is this version, this kind of observing muscle that we want to train, so that before we engage in something emotionally, we catch ourselves. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The reason that you keep on defaulting to these patterns and to these behaviors is because you don't understand why you are defaulting to them. If you understood it, then you could learn the knowledge to not engage in them, and you wouldn't engage in them anymore. Very simple. And when you meditate, you must be non-judgmental. Meditation is quite simply the act of just sitting in silence. Let me go full screen for this. It's like this. This is so hilarious. It's the act of just sitting in silence, right? And you think about that girl that broke your heart. Damn, what a bitch. Oh my God. But you don't get emotionally involved in it. You just, another thought about how lazy and pathetic you are. You don't get involved in it. But damn, you forgot to do that tomorrow. Damn. And you kind of just, you let all of these thoughts come in and then you let them go out. But usually a thought will come in and you'll get so entangled in it. Oh my God, this. She's such a bitch. I'm so lazy. And then it messes everything up. And then when it comes to actually take physical action in the world, you're a complete fucking mess. So that's essentially meditation, the bro science way. Tool 2, gratitude. Okay, gratitude is underrated, and I only saw the benefits of it recently, but it really is underrated. Gratitude taps into something called the Matthew Principle, which is the sociological and the economic concept of cumulative advantage, simply summarized as the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's called the Matthew Principle because of the parable in Matthew from the Bible. It says, to he who has everything, more will be given. But to he who has nothing, everything will be taken. Why is that? It's thought loops. Why is it? It's because of the thought loops. They compound on each other. The belief feeds into the action. The action creates a result. The result feeds back into the belief. I'm lazy. Doesn't work on his business. Damn, I don't work on my business, so I must be lazy. And it can build somebody to the point of being a king of their industry. Michael Jordan, Elon Musk. Or it can destroy somebody down to being homeless, down to wanting to literally kill themselves, down to where you are right now. And the way that we reverse this, the simple way that we reverse this is with meditation and with gratitude. We need to begin engineering positive thoughts. And it starts small. It starts so fucking small. Do. And then it takes off until it just goes straight up. But the opposite is also true, my friend. If you're slowly going down and down and down and down and down and down and down, you're going to drop off a cliff. as you do every fucking time, and we both know that. The reason you keep on going back to this rut is because it's familiar to you. You're you're literally familiar with being down here. This is where your default is. It's literally all the way down there. And what we need to do is we need to change your familiar default to up here. And the only way that we get there is by changing our thinking. Focus on your mental health. Nothing else matters. Now, to end the video, I want to do a little promo, so you can click off now. But if you want to hear what I have to say, then listen. I am opening 2 more spaces for the protagonist, which is essentially just a procrastination course which I've created, and I work one-on-one with you over 4 to 6 weeks, depending on where you start off at. So if you are interested, then book in a call below. And yeah, let's see if we are a good fit to work together, because I am very selective with who I work with. You need to be at a point where you're ready for that growth, because it's going to take some work, right? I can give you the information. I can literally hold your hand through the whole process of overcoming procrastination and self-sabotage, but ultimately it is you that has to do the work. And you can throw money at me all you want, but if you don't get results, my business does not grow. So if you're not, consider subscribing. I appreciate you. Go on Instagram. I'm there every single day, posting stories, so it's quite personal as well. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good day, have a good night. Peace.